Every roster's got a few characters who gather dust on the sidelines. Today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 characters in fighting games that nobody ever picks.
Let's go!
Think you know video games? More specifically, terrible video games? Click below to sign in with your Google or Facebook account and take the new trivia quiz on watchmojo.com. Follow the link in the description.
For this list, we're looking at fighters who regularly get disregarded and underutilized in popular games. Sometimes it's a matter of balancing issues, sometimes it's just a distaste for the characters themselves. Whatever the reason, these characters tend to get left out of the fight.
You can't give it up! Go for it, man!
Swamp Thing, Injustice 2. Turns out that being a Guardian of the Green doesn't make you a popular fighter. It seems that the players of Injustice 2 were quite eager to play as the overgrowth-covered being Swamp Thing. Once the game dropped into people's laps, though, interest in the grumpy green giant soon began to dissipate. Many in the player base complained of Swamp Thing's sluggish movement and the difficulty encountering the faster attacks of other combatants. Swamp Thing might be unique looking, but his shortcomings have landed him amongst the lowest ranked characters in competitive tiers. Okujin, Tekken 3. What a novel character, and yet so little love given their way. From being a wooden combat dummy come alive to his borrowing of other characters' fighting styles in lieu of a unique battle technique, everything about Okujin makes the character fascinating. But as the years wore on, Okujin's popularity as a playable fighter never really picked up enough for more than a handful of appearances, sitting out several main entries. This is especially vexing considering that Okujin is viewed as a middle-tier fighter and has garnered interest in the past as a cult curiosity.
You win.
Surfbot, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, New Age of Heroes. Alas, another casualty of the Capcom crossovers. These adorable robotic assistants, originating in the Mega Man Legends series, got their chance at fame in 2000's Marvel vs. Capcom 2. For whatever reason, however, the Surfbot showcase there was designed in a manner that left fans distinctly dissatisfied. Surfbot is one of the shorter and less useful fighters present, nigh impossible to hit with normal moves, yet limited in its own ability to cause damage. As a result, it found itself added to the pile of largely disregarded characters and hasn't been playable since its debut. Nekron, Soul Calibur 2.
You win.
Designed in cooperation with Image Comics founder and Soul Series fan Todd McFarlane, the mutant warrior known as Nekron has always had an odd place in the game's history. His grotesque and inhuman design drew both ire and acclaim in the day. Some felt he presented well when in battle, while others felt his look betrayed the series' aesthetic. Yet the bigger obstacle keeping Nekron as a mostly forgotten character is tied to copyright issues. The game's developer Namco shares ownership with McFarlane. In tandem with a general lack of fan outcry at his absence, this seems to suggest Nekron may never again get the spotlight. Dan Hibiki, Street Fighter series.
No problem.
Sometimes a joke can be taken too far. Such would be the case for Dan, a self-styled martial artist whose entire identity is built around striving to be the best fighter, and failing spectacularly.
You win!
Since his debut in Street Fighter Alpha, Dan has built up quite the cache of fan goodwill precisely because of his perpetual failure and laughable efforts. That said, it seems few players actually enjoy the act of playing as Dan. He's often found in the lower rungs of competitive tiers. Being a deliberately designed imitation of stronger fighters like Ryu and Ken, minus the power or talent, certainly doesn't help his case. Su Hao, Mortal Kombat series.
Wins.
Characters have come and gone continuously in the Mortal Kombat saga, but few find themselves abandoned with as much prejudice as the universally maligned Su Hao. A cybernetically enhanced wrestler embroiled in gang activity, Su Hao didn't quite live up to the hype that such a background might otherwise inspire.
Su Hao wins. Fatality.
Fans found many a reason to dislike engaging with this fighter. His dull character design, his lack of charisma or redemptive personality, his chest laser seeming awfully similar to Kano's eye. The developers of Mortal Kombat surprisingly agreed, kicking Su Hao off to character oblivion once his obligatory appearance in Armageddon was out of the way.
Su Hao wins. Brutal fatality.
Everyone who isn't Shaq, Shaq Fu. When notoriety clashes with underwhelming execution, the results can be difficult to predict. Those who know of the infamous fighting game Shaq Fu are likely to point out that its most notable aspect is the presence of titular star Shaquille O'Neal. Less often recognized, though, are the 11 other characters making up the remainder of the game's roster. While it would be easy to chalk up the cast's lack of visibility to the game being widely derided, examining the characters closer suggests another possibility. Much of the cast lines up with similar fighting game roles: the evil sorcerer, the enhanced ex-soldier, various martial arts masters, without really breaking away from stereotypes or expectations. Pichu, Super Smash Bros. Melee. The appeal of cuteness can only take you so far, it seems. This baby predecessor to Pikachu made its debut in Pokemon Gold and Silver, paving the way for future appearances. Sure enough, Pichu would be included in the roster of Super Smash Bros. Melee and given an opportunity to shine. It was fast, nimble, and supremely vulnerable to damage due to its small size. In addition, many of Pichu's attacks had the side effect of causing harm to Pichu, meaning players using the diminutive electric mouse were often at a disadvantage in battle. Some folks have gone so far as labeling Pichu a lesser copycat of Pikachu. Harsh, but not without cause. Check out these other great clips from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.